Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today as we get into the preview for tomorrow's game in the FA Cup at the Seagulls. Yes, Chelsea are heading over to their idol club, should we say. I say they. When I say they, I don't mean Chelsea because that's we. I meant Clear Lake. Their idol club we're heading over to, right? And we're gonna see if we can beat the fantastic Brighton model. So bring on the cup game tomorrow at the Seagulls, at Brighton, at the Amex, and we'll see how it's all gonna go down. But when we're talking about Chelsea, we're going into this off the back of a win against West Ham, and look, I'm taking this competition seriously. Yeah. Look, I hate the way that we basically knocked ourselves out of the Carabao Cup, right? Against Newcastle, if you remember. That was completely unnecessary. And tomorrow is no different. There is by no means whatsoever am I entertaining, take this game lightly. No. This is the FA Cup. It's a chance at a trophy. You go all guns blazing. Simple as that. Now, will Chelsea get the job done? God knows. God knows. Because right now, when you look at Chelsea, you genuinely don't know what to expect week in, week out now. It's such an unpredictable side. An unpredictable club. And not in the good context either. So this is why there's a lot of hesitancy. But going into this game, we heard from Maresca today, which was quite a unique press conference, might I add. I've not seen anything like it. And why? Because the few things that we got to hear, right, I'll get to that in a sec, but the few things that we got to hear, I'm thinking, what's going on? What's happening here? Let's address the first thing. This press conference, no word of a lie, was 3 minutes and 40 seconds long. I think 2 people asked a question, and that was it. Press officers like, all right, turn the cameras off. I think you could even look at Maresca. Even Maresca was like, is that it? But even Maresca, when he's talking, just his tonality, nowhere near the same of what we was hearing a couple of months ago. You know? He seemed flamboyant, he seemed in his element, and now he's just like, no. That's it. Which doesn't surprise me. Poch went down the same route. So we'll see how that ends up. But 3 minutes, 40 seconds long, and nothing was asked. Nothing. Except we heard one thing about the latest striker situation. Turns out Guiu does, in fact, have a long-term injury, and he's out for a while. Brilliant. And Nico Jackson might not make tomorrow. Might. He did say he might, but it's a risk. His words. Maresca's words. So if he plays tomorrow, God knows what's going to happen. He might make it through. He might break into a million pieces. God knows, right? Or whatever injury he's got at the moment, we might aggravate it. It's a risk. It's a risk. Who would have thought we'd end up in this situation, hey? Huh? Who would have thought that? It's amazing. Everyone did actually want a striker. Or something, right? And then we had to resort to just dealing with Jackson and Guiu as our only options, and now Guiu is out for a long time, and now we've only got a completely misfiring Nicholas Jackson who's hobbling on one foot. Brilliant. Fantastic. And there's some people that are going to say, no, but it's okay, don't worry, we've got Nkunku. Yeah, because Nkunku's a striker. Have a day off. Have a day off. So that's that. We don't know who's playing up front tomorrow. God knows, right? God knows. And it's actually quite ironic. I've got pictures that have just come in right now from the Chelsea app on who's trained. All right, Palmer's trained, Neto's trained, Chalobah's trained, Caicedo's trained. New signing. What's his name? I forgot his bloody name. I forgot his name. I'll get to that in a sec. The new guy from France, yeah? I can't believe we're in a situation. We're in this situation. We're in this situation when we sign someone, and I'm just like, yeah, what's the name? I forgot the geezer's name. What's the brother's name? Unbelievable. Couple of academy players trained, it seems. Samuel Smith trained, Tyreek George trained, Enzo trained. I saw the rumours earlier on, and I haven't posted anything on it or nothing, but these pictures have just come through, and I'm struggling to see Cucurella. Oh, no, is that him in the background? Is that Cucurella? God knows. Is that Cuckoo? Certainly looks like someone with long hair. God knows. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Is there anything? Cucurella is not mentioned, as in, is he available? There'll be a late decision over Nicholas Jackson. Mark Guiu is out. Everything else looks A-okay, I guess. So, yeah. That's the latest team news, basically. So I'll get to what I think is going to happen. I'll tell you guys what I think the starting 11 will be. For Brighton, I genuinely don't know what the team news is. I've tried to find it. Nothing's been reported. Nothing's been posted. I've not gone and watched their press conference or anything like that. So I genuinely don't know. But normally there's match reports, pre-match reports, previews that are put out. I've not seen a thing. So God knows what Brighton are going to show up with. But they're at home. And we need to get a result. It's as simple as that. We absolutely have to get to it. We have to get a result. We have to play better than we did in that West Ham game. Are we going to? Now, like I said in that review for the West Ham game, the way we ended that game did feel like we had more balance to it, right? So bearing that in mind, what's the best way that we approach the Brighton game? If I were to get into the starting 11, right, I'm going to tell you this off the cuff because, again, I was waiting for this. It came during the video. Which names of who's trained, who hasn't trained, that sort of thing I wanted to clarify and not just have to, guess. So there's been a little bit of clarity. In terms of... Oh, yeah, there was also a bit of news I do want to mention. The Conference League squad has now been amended. So Cole Palmer, Chalobah, and Matisse Amugu. There we are, that's his name. I should remember that, Matisse. So they're now in the Conference League squad as well. And that's basically it. There was, just to add some additional news that I'm just coming across now, Samuel Smith was in first team training. There's an under-21s game in just over 2 hours, so I don't know if he's involved or not. Yahya Idrisi from the under-18s was in first team training today as well. He's been listed. Under-16s attacking midfielder Reggie Walsh was involved in first team training today. Also, so now everyone's getting called up. I'm happy for them because obviously coming up the ranks and having that exposure to the first team is a good thing. At least for them it is. But in terms of players who we've not really seen in those pictures. Oh yeah, Anselmino is going to be training, but he's not going to be playing. That seems like that's happening. Yeah, nothing else in terms of who could possibly there, who's not. So we'll wait and see. I guess we'll have to wait for the lineup. Players like Cucurella, for example. How I'm basing the starting 11. Look, Jorgensen in goal always. End of story. Right? Even if he's average. Better than Sanchez as far as I'm concerned. So Jorgensen in goal. Reece James. That was one. Cucurella and Reece James. I've not seen Reece James. Reece James has not appeared in these pictures. God knows. Where is Reece? God knows. I hope. Well, I say I hope. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not going to say it, but you know what I mean. You guys know what I'm thinking. I wouldn't be surprised. And I've said it already. I've not got much hope when it comes to longevity now with Reece. I've not. The same goes for Lavia. Same goes for Fofana now. It's done. It's done. Whatever they can show up for at this point, I'm grateful. That's how I'm looking at it. Reece can play a game. I'm happy he's here. That's it. He can play 2 games, 3 games. I'm happy he's there. If he goes missing again, it is what it is. That's what I've expected. So I'm not expecting longevity anymore. So we'll see. If Reece is available, Reece James at right back. Then again, I say that as I spoke about in that review for the West Ham game. Gusto came on and had quite a bit of impact, at least going forward. You know what? It's the cup. Play Gusto. Gusto right back. Left back. Well, it's Cucurella or bust. If Cucurella is not there, I'm guessing Samuel Smith has to play. Surely, right? Because there's no one else. Chilwell's just left the building as well, so there's no one else that we can turn to. People are going to say, yeah, just play Gusto at left back then. Play Reece James at right back. We should not be in a situation where we're makeshifting like that. Past halfway through a season, we're makeshifting. After a transfer window like this, we're makeshifting. The squad imbalances here are ridiculous. But Cucurella plays. If it's not him, I can't think of anyone else except play Samuel Smith. He's the only legitimate left back we've got aside from Cucurella. Vega's gone. There's no one else. So that would be that. Centre back pairing, Chalobah for sure. And I would go with Tosin alongside Chalobah. Colwill, you are at least on the bench for now. Because Colwell's reliability is heading down as far as I'm concerned right now. It's not looking good for him, right? He's not been playing well at all. Recently, at all. So for me, no. Tosin, we saw the mistake for the lead up to the goal in that West Ham game. He did make that block towards the end. I'll give him credit for that. But I think with a composed head, Chalobah is a composed head, right? He's cool, calm and collected. Not fantastic, not the levels that we aspire to have at the club, of course, but I think he's the best we got. For him and Tosin to be together, I think is the best balance we have in that centre-back role. So, those two. I would go with Caicedo and Enzo to start with, right? We'll see what happens if we do have the luxury to bring on Amugu. I would like to have him on for a few minutes, 15, 20 minutes, if the game allows. If we're in a situation where we're chasing something, then don't bring him on. But those two in midfield. This is where I've got to consider the balance. I'll be honest, I don't think Jackson's playing tomorrow, which means that we don't have a recognised striker, which just leaves a complete dilemma in my head on what the hell we're going to do. It has to be Nkunku to go up top. There's no one else. He's not a striker. I'm not expecting him to do anything in that role. It's not good for him. It's not good for us. But there's literally no one else that we can play. No one. Unless we get the boy from the academy, the striker with the dreads. What's his name? Maresca? If we bring him in, he's a striker. He actually is a number 9, right, for the youth team. So, I don't know, we bring him in. But this is what we're resorting ourselves to now. This is it. We are forced to go into this situation now because the squad planning, recruitment has been an utter shambles. So, I would have to say, right, with the fact that we're dealing with what we're dealing with now. Palmer just ahead of Enzo and Caicedo. It has to be Pedro Neto on the right-hand side. It has to be Sancho on the left-hand side, and it has to be Nkunku up top. We literally do not have a choice. There's no other option here. The other option would be to then go to the same shape that we had at the end of the West Ham game, where we do end up bringing on an academy striker to go up top. You're the striker. Shift Nkunku over to the left in order to come alongside maybe Cole Palmer in that central space, And it gives you one extra attacker when moving the ball forward. I guess that could be the only way that we think of it. Madueke, as far as I'm concerned, nope, not playing tomorrow. If we were to have Nkunku on the left-hand side or drifting on the left, Sancho possibly comes off. We can maybe push one midfielder forward and have Amugu come on maybe. I mean, there's a couple of makeshift options that we've just not done before. I can't think of anything else. So that sums up where we are right now, ladies and gentlemen. The team structure is literally on the floor. So in that regard, I feel for Maresca. But then again, do I feel for Maresca? To an extent. In the press conference today, he was asked about if he's happy with the transfer business, right? And we already know. We've spoken about video after video in terms of how Maresca feels about this. And it's been, well, it's not been briefed, but it's been put out there numerous times, right? And he says we did all the things we need in terms of players we need to leave and players we wanted. We did everything we needed. If you say so. If you say so. We know he was unhappy. We knew the positions he wanted in. He did end up technically getting a 6, technically, right? But Amugu, you know, the striker he desperately wanted. We didn't get anyone in and he's happy. Nah, he's going to say this publicly only. But I get the feeling he's just dealing with whatever's on his plate, basically. He's just going, yeah, okay, no problem. Look, he's Italian. The time will come when that fuse explodes. Yeah, it happened with Poch, for goodness sakes, and he was accustomed to Tottenham and Daniel Levy for 5 years, and even he exploded. So, as far as I'm concerned, for Maresca, it's a ticking time bomb. Simple as that. The team has not been structured or put together in order to actually be able to compete for something and succeed. It's just not. That's just the truth. So Maresca's dealing with whatever he's got to deal with. It's as simple as that. For tomorrow's game, how do I see it ending? I want to say 2-1 win Chelsea. But I've also got a part of me that's telling me 1-1 goes into extra time. Chelsea find a winner. So I've got a part of me that's within 90 minutes and a part of me that's after 90 minutes. So we'll wait and see. But let me know your prediction down below. Much appreciated. There will be a match review after the game tomorrow coming, which should be with a special guest, right? So hold your thoughts and make sure you're here tomorrow. Subscribe, notification bell. And there will be an additional video that's put out from tomorrow night. So keep your eyes peeled. It's going to be a good one. That video will come the day after on here. So make sure you guys are here for it. And I will see all of you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Look after yourselves. See you tomorrow, people. In a bit. Take care and peace.